Buried inside the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office's annual report to Congress for fiscal year 2025 is a case summary that does not behave like the others. A U.S. Navy encounter. Off the coast of Virginia, approximately 100 airborne objects and 2 uncrewed surface systems, vessels on the water. Every other notable case in that report is either resolved, attributed, or shelved for insufficient data. This one is listed as active. Under investigation. Unfinished. It is the only maritime case in the document, and it sits, unresolved, in the same report where AARO restates that it has found no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial or breakthrough technology. Both things are printed in the same binding. Context matters here. AARO was created in July 2022 under Section 1683 of the fiscal year 2022 National Defense Authorization Act. Its annual report is not a press release. It is a statutory deliverable, negotiated by Congress with defined reporting windows and required categories. Its first 2 consolidated reports set the pattern. The FY 2023 edition, released October 2023, and the FY 2024 edition, released November 14, 2024, both emphasized volume and attribution. Hundreds of reports, most explained as balloons, drones, birds, satellites, or sensor artifacts. Director John Koslowski, who took over after Sean Kirkpatrick's December 2023 departure, has been more candid than his predecessor about the residual. Read the Virginia entry forensically, and the omissions are as informative as the content. According to the report, the encounter involved a Navy platform, roughly 100 airborne objects, and 2 uncrewed surface systems. What the published text does not give the public is a precise date, the vessel or squadron, the sensor suite, the duration or the geometry of the encounter. There is no stated altitude band, no stated velocity, no indication of whether the airborne objects and the surface systems were assessed as related. That is the entire disclosed footprint. A 100-object military encounter, summarized in the space of a paragraph with the words "under investigation," doing the heaviest lifting. The location is not incidental. The Virginia Capes region is the densest concentration of American naval power on Earth. Naval Station Norfolk, Naval Air Station Oceana at Virginia Beach, Joint Base Langley Eustis. The offshore warning areas, including W-72, where carrier air wings work up before deployment. It is also where the modern UAP problem began. Between 2014 and 2015, FA-18 crews from Oceana reported near-daily encounters with objects their upgraded radars could see and their eyes sometimes could not explain. One pilot reported a near miss with a dark cube inside a translucent sphere. Ryan Graves told the House Oversight Committee on July 26, 2023, that those sightings were routine. The 2 uncrewed surface systems are the detail that makes this case structurally different from everything else in the report. Airborne unknowns are the norm in this dataset. Surface contacts are not. AARO's public case inventory has been overwhelmingly aerial, which is precisely why maritime and transmedium claims, objects moving between air and water, have remained the most contested and least documented category in the entire field. If those surface systems were adversary hardware, this is a counterintelligence event of significant scope. If they were friendly assets misidentified, that is a sensor fusion and airspace awareness failure. If they were neither, AARO has not said so. Multi-object military encounters are not new. What matters is corroboration across independent sensors. In July 2019, off Southern California, multiple destroyers, including the USS Kidd and USS Omaha, logged unidentified aerial contacts over several nights. Deck logs, radar tracks, and night vision footage recorded simultaneously, later confirmed authentic by the Pentagon. In December 2023, beginning around December 6th, a swarm of drones penetrated restricted airspace over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia across roughly 17 days. Some F-22s were temporarily relocated. Reporting by the Wall Street Journal in 2024 made clear the incursions were never publicly attributed. General Gregory Guillot told the Senate Armed Services Committee in February 2025 that roughly 350 drone detections occurred at more than 100 military installations in a single year. AARO has demonstrated it can close difficult cases. It publicly reanalyzed the 2015 Go Fast video and concluded the object was not moving at extreme speed. The apparent velocity was a parallax artifact of the aircraft's own motion against a slow-moving object at altitude. That is the standard the Virginia case is presumably being measured against, and it explains why the file may still be open. 100 discrete airborne objects resists the usual mundane resolutions. A single balloon can be explained. 100 simultaneous tracks require a source, a launch point, an operator, a platform, a purpose. Absent that, attribution fails, and the case cannot be honestly closed. Which brings us to the tension at the center of this report cycle. AARO's consistent public position, restated across successive reports, is that it has found no verifiable evidence that any UAP represent extraterrestrial life or breakthrough technology. That statement is defensible on its own terms. But it is not the same claim as everything is explained. Absence of verified exotic technology and presence of an unattributed 100-object military encounter can coexist logically, and they do here. The problem is rhetorical. Headline summaries travel. Open case files do not. Kozlowski himself has acknowledged cases that he, with a physics background and 3 decades in the intelligence community, does not understand. Congressional appetite has not diminished. The House Oversight Committee convened again on September 9, 2025, hearing testimony that included a Navy veteran describing objects observed from a warship, testimony that remains unverified by the Pentagon. The oversight question raised by the Virginia case is narrower and more answerable than the metaphysical one. Legislators can ask for the date, the platform, the sensor logs, the current investigative status, whether the surface systems were attributed. None of that requires believing anything exotic. It requires only that a 100-object incursion near the Atlantic Fleet's front door be treated as the security matter it plainly is. Strip away the interpretation, and one fact survives. The United States Navy, operating off Virginia, encountered something the Pentagon's own resolution office has not been able to attribute, and chose to disclose that it cannot. That admission is the significant part, not a claim, not a leak, not a whistleblower. A statutory report submitted to Congress, conceding an unfinished investigation into approximately 100 objects and 2 vessels. Whether it resolves as a foreign surveillance operation, a friendly force accounting failure, or something else entirely, the answer exists somewhere in a case file that is still officially open. Until it closes, the question stands unanswered.